Welcome back, everybody, to session three of the Tale of the Dark Lady. So, it's been a little bit since we game last. So we dealt with a visitation from some ghoulish flesh-eating thing that is fungal and corrupted, and also seemingly corrosive in nature that our Grand has kindly smashed for us. Um,
Sticky paste.
Yes, and we were attempting to get the fuck out of Dodge because that was creepy as shit. Um, Nearest landmarks, again, as a uh, quick recap, the previous session, you guys briefly investigated a Stonehenge, crumbling Stonehenge that seemed to have some eldritch, uh, kind of lingering eldritch sorcery therein, with some interesting and also quite spooky iconography and artwork carved into or raised out of uh, the stones. You dipped out from there to find cover in a woodland nearby, kind of in the vicinity of a river that leaves the forest. You met the encounter with the ragman there, uh, spent the night, and we will pick up that next evening with some fitful, not pleasant sleep, as you're still attempting to identify what's happened to you in the previous 48 hours. The nearest form of civilization is the term we will use for it, is a village of unidentified inhabitants. Grand, would you describe your character for us, and we'll go from there.
Well, his most distinguishing feature is he's 12 feet tall.
Yes,
And,
monolithic in
and,
nature.
and now, since he's lost his hammer, which was his only weapon, or which was his only weapon at the time of, because we were in town, so I left my primary weapon back at my shop,
The term we will use for that is abducted in some form or fashion. What the hell happened?
absconded with.
Yeah, right. Against our will, absconded with against our will.
So yeah, my axe is nowhere near me. I have fashioned a makeshift hammer out of a big rock and a club. Other than that, I mean, he's big for ogre kind,
As an ogre male, he's very well fed, 12 foot tall. Uh,
and rather beefy.
yes. Uh, Moving along to uh our uh Dr. Vason, the elderly Athranian with us. Take it away, Terry.
So Vason is a human, wears robes. His most distinguishing feature is that in the world of Arklanar, he is elderly, which would put him at about our age of 55. Um, very much dresses the scholar part with pouches and a walking staff that I believe survived the abduction. Is that correct?
Yes, you do have your stave with you.
All
I
right.
did lose my.
So, oh, go ahead.
I can't remember how I lost my hammer.
You were abducted, and for whatever reason, your gear wasn't uh wasn't
Oh,
taken with us.
or went someplace else.
Right. But go for it, Terry.
So we've just rested and it's dark out, or is it dawn?
Uh, it's probably well, we'll say it's about an hour before dawn.
Okay. Vason is going to do what he can to either start a fire or feed the fire that we had overnight and start to build up some heat, feeding the fire, and anxiously waiting for the daylight so that um, he can go over and take a look at the opponent that was smited, smoted,
Smote.
smoted, we'll
Smoted.
say. He's very excited to take a look at the carnage.
Uh, when you go do that, you will see a black
Sticky
bony
fingers.
spatter. Uh, Mike, would you take it away for us? Describe your character.
Uh, Saz is an Arborian, uh, feeling, well, probably relatively naked without his handful of weaponry, since that was all gone when they woke up from this absconding. Um, Arborians are quite literally tree folk. He has what seems to be actual elm bark for his skin. Besides that, he stands right around 6 foot tall, so half of what Grand is, with close cut black hair. He still has his wooden hauberk and whatnot, and he is still kind of probably still on the adrenaline high from being chased by the weird thing that is now a sticky paste on the ground because that freaked the fuck out of him. Uh, he does not know what to think because he normally does not run away from things like that, but he had nothing to fight with.
Copy. Uh, that being said, uh, the floor is yours, gentlemen, to uh explore. We've introduced our characters. Off with you.
Oh, Vason, I wouldn't suggest touching what's left of it without some kind of protection, as it was
No,
trying, as the remains were trying to eat my club.
no, there'll be no touching involved. I might be poking at it from a distance, trying to burn it, but there will be no touching. Nice job, by the way. You smote that creature righteously.
Well, this isn't a weapon that I'm trained in, but using a club is kind of basic.
That was outstanding.
If you can
I
swing a
think
hammer, you can swing a club.
I think if you just give me a little bit to examine once we get some light, I won't be long. I will not tarry with this. I think that we should have somebody observe the village, and once the sun starts to come up, we get some light just to see if there's like
Movement.
activity. Yeah.
I don't suggest having me be the person to do that kind of spying because I'm kind of obvious.
We'll call you Plan B.
Call me when stealth fails.
Saz, do you think you could get yourself into a position of guarding and watching the village?
I think so.
It seems we still have some time before sunup if you want to find yourself somewhere comfortable, and then we'll come find you.
All right.
If there's some decent sized trees nearby, I'm gonna take a couple of swings with my new hammer just to get a feel for it with the additional weight on the end.
Okay. Uh, they uh, they really won't stand up to you.
Well, I
You're
didn't think they would.
you you can fell a few trees. Not obviously, I don't see you being a lumberjack about it, but uh, it seems comfortable enough in your hand. Uh, it's I would rate that as a stone weapon. So that'll incur whatever material penalties stone is, which I believe stone is. Stone is -2. That's right. Yep. And um, besides that, it should be fine. Um,
Uh,
Now, narrator, I don't have wild lore at all,
nope.
but I'm going to say this out loud too. Has anyone seen any indication of animals, tracks, spoor? I'm thinking we're going to need to eat at some point.
well, I know I went hunting before, so I know there's something for animal life around here.
Uh,
That's something else to keep in mind.
I will say that there's plenty of grouse, grouse, and say pheasant, for example, uh, that you could hunt once you actually get a bow or have access to that type of thing. From what I understand, the party doesn't have grades in wild lore,
I do.
except for Saz.
Hmm.
Is he the only outdoorsman that we have?
I think so.
Oh,
Because we had a
excuse
crafter.
me, except for Roak. Roak also, I gotta get out his character sheet. Excuse
Oh,
me.
that's right. I have it written down that we've got our traveling companion.
We
Because
have a
yeah,
lackey.
because we had a blacksmith and a scholar, and then I was the outdoorsman.
Yep.
Now, I have wild lore as long as it pertains to like the headless horseman or the great pumpkin.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Right. uh,
We call that esoteric knowledge there.
uh,
Saz will take a moment um, after he hears Gron take down a tree or two and see if he can't find himself uh, two sticks, like nice sturdy branches, probably be about 3 feet long.
okay.
Make himself essentially a pair of eskrima.
All right.
So he's got something to protect himself with.
Club. He'll
How
fashion it.
pliable are the like branches around here?
I believe it's elm and
Are we
birch.
talking hardwood or?
Yeah, yeah, some of those are hardwoods. Yeah.
Well, I'm looking for something that we can possibly fashion into a bow for those people who can use one.
Uh, okay. No, yeah. Uh, crafting a bow would be a wild lore test anyway. That's fine. We're now in the Stone Age. We're gonna have to deal with the with being skill monkeys for a little bit. Um, yeah, no, you guys have access to the resources that would get you um that. Uh, I will set Roak to start fashioning a longbow. Yeah, it'll take him better part of today, but we'll have a good bow and a string by the end of today.
Although, okay, and this is me using player knowledge, not character knowledge, but wouldn't a sling with several small stones be better than one arrow?
Well, Roak has a sling, but didn't you
'Cause
just
I'm thinking the equivalent of a shotgun.
what do you want
Several,
now?
no, no, in the sling, instead of one big stone, you put several small ones for you have that scatter shot like a shotgun.
Right. Um, I really would think that would just be a thematic die roll, really. It wouldn't change mechanically.
Okay.
I I would think that it would like wreck your accuracy. That I mean, if we're talking through mechanics wise, if you put a single bullet in, it just seems like it's much easier to aim than if you had a bunch of them.
Like I said, I'm just thinking, bird hunting with a rifle versus bird hunting with a shotgun. The equivalents.
But
Um,
I liked your idea that fashioning a sling would be much faster than fashioning bow and then arrows, plural. So if somebody wants a ranged weapon rather quickly, and if Roak can use it, I would say start with a sling.
uh, Roak has a sling.
Oh,
Uh, he made one yesterday. So, but he
Yeah,
also is trained in a bow. Um, for anyone who essentially what we're going to be asking right now as party quartermaster, somebody raise their hand. Cool. What does the party quartermaster want? Because we have an artisan here, Roak, who
Two.
has skills. Excuse me, there's two of them. One of them is an outdoorsman. One of them is a metal worker. What do you want the outdoorsman to do?
okay. So does anybody have any range skills? I can barely use a staff without braining myself,
Uh, Roak can use a sling and he
which he
can use a
has.
bow. He currently owns and possesses a sling.
Okay.
He also has 5 grades in wild lore.
Grand, ranged weapon.
What are these ranged weapons you speak of?
Never mind. Just he did not part of the conversation then.
Next, Daz.
Saz can use slings and daggers and has a couple ranks in wild lore as well as it being a forte of his.
Okay. So Vason, command decision, is going to tell him, please create another sling and give that one to Saz.
Copy. He'll be at
Saz,
it for a couple hours.
all
Okay.
right.
While they're doing that, I mean, it's like, how big of rocks do you need for this? And I'll start gathering them by that. Well, that's the game master saying, or
Yeah, you could
is that
gather
Roach
stones.
saying?
No, no, Rock would basically do this. Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, for ogre hands.
Yeah, right. No, no, no.
So
So
about the
Rock
size of my thumbnail, huh?
I
does
was gonna say,
this, and
yeah,
more like he's
probably like your
thinking
thumb pad, like the top pad.
Okay, I can do that.
with no in the character interaction there. If Roak does this, and then Grond essentially does this with his hand, Roak just rolls his eyes and just says, "Then this." Pinky, small finger.
But
Not very
Grand,
big. Okay.
don't look for rocks near the village. Go
No, I'm
away
going.
from.
I'm
Oh,
going to that body of water where I cleaned off my club. There's
is
probably rocks in near the water.
Nar
river rocks.
narrator, is that in between us and the village, or is that behind us?
Oh, it is between you and the village. You got to cross the river to get to the village,
Oh,
but we're
yeah.
like a country mile and a half away.
No, no. Grand, go that way and look for rocks.
All right.
Uh,
Away from the water.
Well, I was just think the river is probably the best place to find them. But yeah, okay.
And we're
we
gonna
could
send
go
Saz
into the
out.
woods. I mean, you could. I know. We're trying to. I'm not part of the party, but I kind of am. We're I know we're trying to element of surprise and stealth here. I know, but uh, Roak would suggest he could look for stones along the river in the forest if he does not go far.
Yep. Okay.
I mean,
I apologize if
that's where I
that's
got
what
the
you
rock
meant.
to make turn my club into a hammer was the river.
Yeah, just don't go near the village yet till we can.
I wasn't planning on it.
Gotcha.
I mean, I dwarf a few of these trees, so I mean they're
Yeah,
saplings, but still I dwarf them.
and Saz, anytime you want to head out to get yourself settled into a listening post,
Yeah. No, yeah, Saz would have essentially made himself a couple of, well, found himself a couple of, I guess they'd be considered clubs since they're blunt weaponry, but they'd be about the size of a couple of short swords.
Confa.
Yeah, basically. But yeah, then he would, yeah, he'll cross the river and make his way toward the village.
Uh, who wants? All right, hang on. So
Oh, and
Grand
I'm
is
taking my hammer with me.
okay. We're technically splitting the party here. This is a great time for me to fuck you guys up.
Yeah,
That's
you
why I'm
do.
Great,
taking my
great.
hammer with me.
You heard that coming, didn't you, Eric? Oh, uh, no. So to understand everything properly, Eric is going to be foraging. Roak is currently going to be crafting. The hell is Vason doing?
um, first of all, he is going to be going over and examining the remains of the creature that Grand smote.
Right. Okay.
Um,
We're
Sticky
gonna.
base
and
skin.
just do some investigation there. But he's also either if he completes that quickly or he's going to use this opportunity to look around and forage using his apothecary type skill to see where, because we really don't know where we are yet,
Hmm,
right? I mean, this doesn't jive with anything that we saw with the stars and
okay. Uh, so we'll handle that scene and then we'll go to Saws. Uh, all right. So you head back over to where the corpse or the what's left of it is.
and
Um,
he's going to bring a burning piece of kindling.
okay. So you've got some light.
Yeah.
Uh, we um, yeah, no, you guys basically see you see the spatter there of what left of what rags it was in fact wearing at the time. Uh, basically from about the navel down, uh, is mostly skeletal and pretty advanced stage of decomposition there. Uh, it possibly looked like it was human at one point in its existence, but something has happened to it. A great, uh, quite a variety of mushrooms actually grow on this thing's flesh or what's left of it. Uh, it wears a burial shroud, not unlike the Athranian fashion, your culture to basically put what equates to uh, a black poncho on somebody and then inter them into a burrow, uh, almost like a mausoleum, kind of, but obviously a burrow, um, and then seal them in. Um, so your knee jerk like reaction to it immediately is, could this possibly have been a white that had escaped its interment and is now haunting something? There are a lot of implications around that. Could possibly that there's a cemetery nearby. Uh, there could possibly be more. There is some kind of necromantic presence nearby. If the dead are walking somewhere, may all the gods forbid an actual necromancer is here, practicing or otherwise. But yeah, that is a horrific thought. But there are colleagues of yours who practice necromancy at the library back in the city. So you're probably a little desensitized to the idea of the Walking Dead. I don't know if in Vason's long life, because he is of the high men uh, species, he lives for a few centuries. Um, if he would have had dealings with that sort of thing. Yeah, okay. His accurate age is probably somewhere within like the 280s to early 300s. But effective Earth human years, he's what, 53? So
55. Yeah.
55. So you tell me.
So he's seen necromancy produced in an academic situation on various animals in the situations that he's seen it on human subjects, humanoid subjects. It hasn't been like get up from the table and fight you version. It's been more like leg twitches and
Oh,
spastic things like, yeah, look what we did. That was, a man. And so for him to make this realization that this creature could have been one of those, but it was up on its own accord, walking and potentially fighting, is exponentially more experience than he's ever seen. But he has an introduction to it, um, but academically,
would he have
very.
experience with what's considered white necromancy or the funeral type of like embalming?
Yes, that would be the this wouldn't be like the dark necromancy. This would be more of the benign ceremonial.
Okay. So, for your note taking purposes, if I go to necromancy, he does not have access to these spell lists for obvious reasons,
Hmm.
but he probably is familiar with uh the spell list embalming, um the veil, and death augury, which is essentially the divination using spirits of the dead. So, yeah, death augury and the veil is basically the sensing and communication with um, the undead or disembodied spirits.
And what was the
Familiar
first one?
and embalming,
Embalming. Yep.
essentially. So embalming, the veil, and death augury.
Okay.
That's a familiarity, not a knowledge of.
Yep.
Okay. Uh, because I mean, necromancy is not taught formally. There's no magic school in all of Arklinar, but there are necromancers who practice necromancy openly, who go to the library in Athranlanath and study. Athranlanath is not a nice place. Uh,
But all of all of these experiments and situations that he's witnessed has been on a very small, minute, controlled scale. So
Right.
never anything like this.
No. Uh, so is that all of the information that you wanted out of the scene? I know there was a little bit of a tangent there. What else do you want to
Uh,
accomplish here?
so he's not going to use his own staff, but he's going to carefully poke around with a stick, and then he's got the burning, you know, piece of kindling, and he's going to just make observations about touching fire to it, and yeah, but he's not going to stir it up or take samples or anything at this point.
Okay. Uh, I mean, you poke it with a stick, uh, and it slowly tries to dissolve the wood there. Um, you see uh it react with moss on the ground. Um, it doesn't make the moss bubble, but the moss like takes like not necessarily eats, but kind of takes in the ink. We're gonna call it the ink there, and grows more vibrant but sickly. Like it's trying to act upon the plant there. Uh uh Fire will obviously burn it away, dissolve it, or sizzle it. Um it kind of has it doesn't like light, it doesn't like fire, but with the earth it kind of just seeps in and has a reaction with life, plant life, or the corpse there. In the hours between the thing being slain and the current time this morning, mushrooms have started to grow out of the ink, started to spore and fungus there.
Okay. Once again, he's not taking any samples. He's being very careful around it, not getting any on his clothes or his skin or anything. So he'll just, poke around with it, take some mental notes, and then just back off and leave it alone then.
Copy. That being said, we will go to Saz. Uh, Describe for us your reconnaissance. You're muted, my friend.
So basically, what I was having him want to do, you said it was like an hour. Sorry, not an
Yeah,
hour, but like a mile, mile and a half away. Which, considering he's relatively athletic, probably only takes him, 20 or so minutes at a leisure.
a little bit. Yep.
Um,
It's good
so
PT. It's good PT.
right, right, right. Um, Basically, he wants to go until like he would see what would be like the words English, use
Yep.
them.
Yep.
Entrance into the village, if it's actually, is there like any like wall or fencing, or is it all open?
It's not a walled village. It's got a wooden palisade, but the palisade has been not kept well. I mean, there are sections of the wall. It's a big privacy fence, is what it is. That you
Right.
could just walk through. Like you
Okay.
don't have to shimmy through. You could just walk. Your big Arborian broad shoulders could just walk through it. Uh,
Yeah.
Probably don't, but
No. Um, do I have anything for cover once I get eyesight of the palisade?
on you about hip tall grass.
That's not good.
So take a knee.
You're right. Yeah, he'll do that. Coming up upon this, does he see anyone?
Uh, from what you're understanding, uh, Actually, wait. Stop. Be cool.
English words.
Yeah,
Use
that
them.
thing. Yeah. Hey, I don't have this PDF that would be really slick for me to just like whip out because we're kind of crossing genres right now. Uh, I'll describe them best I can, uh, from the novels. But it's kind of a mix. They look like they're humans, uh, as humans would to you, from what you understand, would be mostly Athranians. Um, actually, excuse me, let me back up. Was Saz born a Thranlanath, or was he born in Arborea?
I think he was actually born in Arborea. Like
Well,
he's
then,
legit native.
okay, then he knows what a Nemercian looks like, or actually, well, yeah, today a Nemercian. Uh, he has seen some of the lesser human tribes that have various names and or various names, but some tribes don't have names. Uh, and then the more prominent one that you're familiar with would be Thranians. Some of these people actually look like Vaeson's people from the city. Uh, a little bit more, a bit down on their luck and more poor, so they resemble more of what the woodmen subculture of the country people, the outside of the city dwelling Athranians, uh, would be. And there's also, interestingly enough, a dark-skinned people that are kind of olive skinned, with some angular features. To you, they look pretty exotic, um, with dark eyes. Their olive skin has a bit of a red tint to them, and the they'll have like thick, coarse, dark hair, so they kind of look like a red tinted, like our earthly Mediterranean. There's a uh, uh, kind of a whimsical nomad type of air to these people. You do see covered wagons, so like caravan type covered wagons, and they're wearing um, some uh, some of the women actually very quite breathtakingly uh, exotic looking, kind of flowier clothes, kind of long skirts, um, and this silly thing that like props their boobs up rather nicely, and you've never seen that article of clothing on native women of Arklanar. You have no idea what the hell that is, but we like it because we are a red-blooded man. Uh, I'm describing what is a corset, actually. Uh, so, um, there's some otherworldliness here, and some of these women are hot. Like, some of the guys are like very roguish looking. So it's like kind of a mix of these dark-skinned nomads and some of the people that you would equate with Vaeson's people.
All right. And I'm assuming no one's noticed me at this point.
Now, as far as you're aware, there
Is
are no
is
towers here. There are no towers
I
to
was I was gonna
block the
say
wall.
is there anyone up or around the walls, the
No,
privacy fence?
no, there's no catwalk.
Okay.
It's unadorned fence.
All right. Who actually sit there, uh, head on a swivel, of course, because you don't I don't know if someone's out and about. He'll sit there for probably like half an hour to an hour, just kind of scoping things out, maybe trying to see how densely populated this thing is,
Okay.
before he heads back to the others.
Uh, We're looking at about 200 people.
All right. But yeah, no, if no one sees him or at least no one confronts him, like I said, he'll give it like an hour and then he'll kind of backtrack his way back across the river
Okay.
to Vazen and Grand and Roark.
Okay. Uh, you will find Roak, uh, who um has just finished his sling, and he hands over a sling and a handful of stones for you.
Ah, where's Vason at?
Vason would be around the area, maybe looking for plant samples and seeing what he can find for components.
And Saz will go up to Vason, uh, kind of re-describe what he saw in the village. Uh, you ever seen people with skin dark as the night?
Hmm. Narrator, have I?
No. Well actually hang on. Let me bring that back. Uh you've seen Yathite people before. You've seen the um would basically be our earthly equivalent to Egyptian people, tradesmen in the harbor that come back and forth. They don't stay very long because it's too damn cold. Uh, and um, I mean, you've seen them on a handful of occasions, and there is, I believe, still an enclave of uh Yathites who uh worship ibis in like a tenement section of the harbor, but I don't know if Vason would have any uh business with them. They have some strange spiritual beliefs, and their sorcery is weird.
So I'm going to ask Saz, like, eighth, is it Athenites? Athens?
Yathites.
Yath. Yathites?
'Cause I don't think Saz has ever seen a
Nope.
dark-skinned one before, so he has.
So no. The answer is no.
Yeah, he's never even heard the term Yathite before.
Did they speak? Could you hear any language?
I didn't get that close. Uh, it's technically surrounded by a wall, but that wall's in some heavy disrepair. Like I'm pretty sure Grand would have an easy time getting through that thing
Gron could
with
have an
without
easy time
knocking
of
it.
getting through many things.
Well, I was gonna say without knocking it over anymore.
Oh, I understand. What about weapons? Were they carrying anything?
No, they look like just a bunch of town folk. The women were really hot though.
Well
They had
then,
something that they had something that pushed up the bosoms. I don't know what it was, but it was nice.
Uh-huh.
we'll call those bosom pusher uppers for future reference.
But yeah, I mean, I was over there trying to keep track of how many people, and unless they have a whole bunch of them sitting out of sight, it's only a couple hundred there. I didn't see anything that looked like soldiers or warriors coming or going or patrolling or anything.
Hmm. So I wonder if if the two of us were to go over and make contact, letting the Grand and Rock know, and having Grand stay back hidden as backup in case things went poorly. Maybe we could go over and make contact. At the very least, we're gonna need some food. We're gonna have to feed him.
Mm,
Yeah, I think we could do that.
Let's pull the others in and just make sure that we're all understanding the plan. So we're gonna go and gather the others up
hmm.
in an area that's not within direct sight of the village.
Okay. Okay. I'm trying to take notes while we do that at the same time. I'm gonna let you guys narrate this quick. I'm trying to confirm something real quick for us.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. Saz, tell Grand what you found.
Uh so found a village. It's probably about a couple hundred people. I didn't see anyone that looked like fighters or warriors. And their wall is bad enough you could probably walk through without tearing anything else down. At least in certain spots.
Oh, it's been around a while.
Yeah, looks like it. Whole bunch of different kinds of people there though. Including the dark skinned ones, Vason calls Yathites.
Maybe.
Yathites? Yathites, yeah, something like that.
No, that's correct. That's the correct term. It's to be determined if that's actually Yathites that you're seeing.
Oh, I found some more rocks.
Okay. So
Okay,
I think if I remember correctly, me and Vason are gonna go over, see if we can't talk to some of these people, maybe get some food.
I'll hang back.
Yep. Figured you and Roark will hang back and chill out here.
Keep each other safe.
I can't fucking find it. All right, we're just gonna fucking deal. I'm sorry, guys. Uh,
Geez, narrator, just
I
geez.
know I fucking had it last week, and this is gonna be
You,
slick.
you,
We're just gonna abandon it.
you weren't a Boy Scout, were you? Just not prepared at all.
If you ain't ammo, you ain't shit. Uh, la 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 la. All right. So who's gonna leave and make contact?
Me and Vason.
Okay.
I'll say I'm staying behind
Okay.
because
So
I'm way too obvious.
right. So you
If
two hunker down. You and
if you
Roak.
hear us scream like little girls, then come running.
Oh,
How far
Roak.
away is the village?
Like a
Fuck.
mile.
I might be able to hear you.
Uh, yeah. Roak. And you get hunkered down. Uh, he loads a stone into his sling, and in that time, he's actually napped himself a biface. It's like it's a poor man's excuse for a dagger, but um Saz and Vason, you go off and make contact with the locals. Uh and when you guys actually, you know what? You tell me how you approach this village. This is your caper. I'm not gonna fuck you guys over. How do you do this? Because I could say you just walk in there and die, but we're not gonna do that. Come on, let's.
Hmm.
I
Saz,
mean,
any
I'm
ideas?
I mean, I can take Vason through the way I went up the first time and, hunkering down in the hip tall grass.
All right. Well, we'll start there. Okay.
Anything new
Uh,
that I see since
n-
coming back?
not really. No, they. It seems like these nomads with the brightly colored sashes are kind of like conducting some business. They may or may not be traveling merchants. They might just be fucking nomads stopping here to uh resupply. We're that's kind of what we're looking at here. They're socializing and being merry. They're not having a party or anything, but they're doing.
Well, damn it, why not?
We don't know. We don't
Now,
know yet.
I have skills and a forte in academics.
Copy.
Does this warrant any type of academics role, or is this completely out of my bailiwick?
Uh, wait, come out of your what? I'm sorry, Terry, not to fuck up the game right now. What did you just say?
Bailiwick. You don't know
Yeah.
bailiwick?
I no, I don't.
Oh,
What explains to the I
it
bring the game to an ask
expertise.
right? Okay, to an ask
Bailiwick.
bailiwick. Okay. All right.
Outs Outside of his wheelhouse, yada
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
yada.
That's one I have not heard. Okay, cool. We got that on camera. I went, what?
It the
Um,
the actual definition is one sphere of operations or particular area of interest. That's the that's the definition.
nice.
The more you know.
Yeah. Sweet. Very apropos term for an in-character question. No, you are not familiar. Well, actually, yeah, okay, stop. Just fucking stop. Make me an academics test. I'm not telling you what your character doesn't know,
All right.
or should know, or shouldn't know. He's a fucking doctor. We'll see. Let the fucking dice tell us. I'm having a hell of a day today, guys. I am so sorry.
That's all right.
Blech.
I rolled shitty, so I got a total of 8.
God damn it.
No, you don't know shit.
No.
They, you know what? No, I wanted to help you. No, you don't know it. You don't know who these fucking people are. They're not from here. They're not dressed like the native women back home, but the fair-skinned people look like these woodmen from back home, the country folk that live outside of Threnlanath. Um, they're Threnlanath doesn't have a caste system. They have city people and they have country people, and it's not like oh they're fucking ignorant hillbillies. It's just a different lifestyle. Some
Hmm.
The city is too fast for them, and they like the country. It's similar the way like the Romans viewed living in Rome and country be you're gonna be country people now and they live out in like the countryside and it was
Country.
actually
Oh.
a nicer kind of mentality to it. No, they look like woodmen. And you don't know who these dusky women, these fucking sexy, the gorgeous dusky women though that are dressed fucking weird like, but they're yeah,
Okay.
foreigners and some distant cousins. So
All
you
right.
might be near home somewhere.
I'll relate this to Saz. This is not looking familiar to me 100%. I mean, some of the dots connect, but not enough for me to really understand where we are or who they are.
All right, so what do we do?
Well, let's walk up and see what that gets us.
All right. Yeah, I
Remember,
guess.
plan B, scream like a girl, wait for Grodd.
Fair enough.
Okay.
All right,
Uh,
yeah. So I guess Saz will find a chunk of the wall that is easy to walk through, and
okay.
he'll aim for that location to walk up to.
All right. You successfully infiltrate the fucking
Well, is there like
village. What?
gates, like
Well,
obvious entrance?
yeah. There's yeah.
I don't
There's
think we need to necessarily like sneak into their town. Like,
no.
Eh,
let's like approach the gate like we are normal people.
what's a normal person?
Says
Well,
the
I
old
mean,
man. I
like
we.
we're we're not.
Looks like a normal person as he's talking to the tree guy.
No, let's go to the gate. Let's not sneak through the wall. That might look a little funny to them.
All right, all right. Take all
Okay.
the fun out of it.
All right. So, no, you guys walk
Yeah.
through there like you fucking own the place, and the some people notice you. They don't accost you in any way. They they kind of give Saws maybe like a little bit longer of a look, but they don't like holy fuck and run away. There's none of that. There's just like a younger guy like waves at Vason and then goes back to what he was doing.
Okay.
Like, yeah,
I
no, they're like, it's not they don't give a fuck about you. Like, oh, new faces. All right, cool. Yeah, super fucking friendly. Couple of
all
these
right.
exotic looking women in the long skirts, however, are kind of clustering around a like a campfire nearby that they've put up, and uh someone starts playing music on some panpipes. Some of the girls kind of start dancing. There is some singing. Like they're kind of like winding up for the day, it seems. Someone is
Mm.
cooking something. Uh, they're not, yeah, they're not really giving you a hell of a lot of time. Not a hard time, excuse me.
Is there any way we can get some type of observation role or awareness of like somebody who's in charge?
In some cases like this, you can assume that there's a head man or a head lady of a village. At least that would be from your culture's perspective.
Where's the babushka at?
Yeah, literally the goddamn babushka. Thank you.
So yeah, we're
Right.
just gonna be like searching out to see if there's somebody in some capacity of authority.
Uh, yeah, no, there is in fact a babushka who is now we're talking this is the oldest thing that Vason has ever fucking seen. She doesn't even just look good for forever old. Uh, and she is fucking knitting. She is knitting while these two younger like woodmen ladies, young girls, maybe like barely out of their teens, are helping her with her knitting, and another one is currently cooking something. It smells of venison and garlic in there, and the garlic smacks you in the nose, kind maybe pleasantly. We don't know, but um, it permeates the area here. But no, no, the babushka looks up from her knitting from her long ass witch's nose, because of course she does, and kind of gives you the stink eye. And you, young man, you are different here. Who are you in my village? You ain't quite flattering being called a young man at your age.
Is she actually speaking like we understand her or
Hell yeah, she speaks the trade language to you.
all
Her
right, all
accent
right.
is weird though.
Greetings, honored mother. My name is Vason, and what city were we from, narrator?
Thranlenath.
We are from Athenranaf, but I'm afraid we don't know where we are, and we were wondering if we could be welcome here.
Uh, she gives you maybe a little bit more piercing of a stink eye and says, I have not heard that city spoken of in too long. You must be new here. Hmm. She kind of shakes with the Parkinson's, if you will.
Do I have any coinage on me at all from our area still? Any type of
Uh,
change?
I would assume so. You probably have had whatever coinage, like pocket change you've had.
Yeah, yeah. I'll take out a couple examples of the coinage and offer them to her.
She takes it with her gnarled ass, I'm about to hand you a poison apple type of hand. Uh, and with the Parkinson's, he brings it uh to her eye. She goes and she asks the very disturbing ass question, is the overseer still alive?
Do I know what she means by that?
Yes, the ruler of Athranlanath. Yeah, he's about as old as the city.
Yes.
She just says, hmm, and hands you the coin back. There's something obviously that she knows there that she's not going to let on
Right.
because she's a
Right.
grandma and cryptic.
Where are we?
You're very far from home if you're from Athranlanath.
Where are we?
She kind of chews on her words for a few moments before she response. Almost like she's kind of like mulling around, like just trying to decide if she wants to give you the honest answer or the tactful answer. Uh, what is Saw's doing right now?
Saz is basically about one step behind and two steps to the right of Vason, almost in guard mode.
Yep,
Uh, Other than that, head's kind of on a swivel.
yep.
And he's kind of just watching everyone else, seeing if anyone's out of place or anyone's doing anything potentially stupid. Otherwise, yeah, he's just people watching at the moment.
Okay. So the babushka says, "What occurred with you before you came here?" Seemingly completely ignoring your question.
We were in a tavern and there was a brawl. There was violent altercation, and the people who seemed to be winning the fight were a man and a woman, but they were decimating a number of men.
Hmm. Did you die?
Obviously not. I'm
Eh,
here.
Which is exactly her reaction. Like she kind of like gives you this expression on her face, like, "Ah, it's arguable." Uh, she looks up at Saz and she said, "Did you die?"
I took a boot to the face. And then I'll proceed to look at her ankles.
You don't see her ankles. She's wearing a skirt. She's a lady and she's not showing her ankles.
Well, she'll see me look down at her ankles.
And she just looks up at you like, "Hmm." You kind of like this like telepathic grandma look, like you know something about something, but you're not saying something.
Mm-hmm.
She just like goes back to her fucking knitting.
Well, if I did die, someone put jewelry on my body that somehow carried over.
At that, she doesn't look up at her from her knitting and goes, "Huh, interesting."
Kind of stage whispered to Vason, like she knows. She knows. What do we do?
Honored mother, we are strangers at your doorstep. Is there anything that you can tell us that might help?
You are not in the same house that you once knew.
Hmm. Are we free to walk about here? Are we safe?
Mm, no, it is not safe. I would not travel at night.
We've experienced that already. What about in the village? Is there safety we can find here? Would
There's
we be welcome?
you can stay as long as you need. Everyone works here. Everyone pulls their weight. The red nomads come from time to time when they want to resupply and uh, trade, and sometimes they celebrate their holidays with us. Don't travel after dark. Stay in villages if you can. There are several. How knowledgeable are you of the dead?
Why, I know a thing or two.
You'll be seeing quite a lot of that these days.
Hmm. Do you have scholars in the village?
No, not here, no.
Do you
If
have
if you'd like to stay the night, uh the the tax collector should be here in the morning. Like one of the girls like helping grandma with her knitting just kind of gives her like this side eye like, "Mhm." and doesn't say anything. And she just like shuts her up with a hand. Shut.
Do you have a healer in this village?
Several. How many are you?
Excellent. A total of four.
Ah. And she points across the the main, I'm not gonna call it the square, but where the well is in the center of the village. There's uh, a moderate sized shack uh on the other side of the village, and she says you can have that hovel there for the time being.
One of our companions we're bringing in is an ogre.
All right.
Will that be alarming?
No, there are ogres here. There's not many. Not in this village, but there are ogres here in Mizarine.
Okay, good. We
You
just
ever
want to
heard
make
of
sure we weren't going to cause a row.
Mm.
you ever heard of Mizarine before?
No, but Saz probably has.
Saz has.
Yeah, make
Oh,
an academics check. He has
okay.
esoteric knowledge, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Actually make an esoteric knowledge test.
It's gonna be a 15.
Oh yeah, no, he's heard of a place called Mizarine. That's either a place or a village that is uh in some circles it is described as a pocket in the underworld, or it is a house in the underworld, which in more academic and or spiritual circles, the underworld is the realm of the dead.
Saz would just stare at her for a second after she said the name. Then
Like you fucking what when now, lady? What?
I'm sorry. We're where?
Miserine, dear. And she just goes back to her knitting.
Vason, I know that name. Do you know that name?
I'm gonna roll esoteric knowledge to see if I know that name.
Yep. It's difficulty 14.
Okay, I got an 11.
Nope.
I'm gonna fill him in real quick then.
All right. How
Uh,
does he fill him in?
uh, we're in a how's he gonna put this without just blurting it out? Uh, Stories go that this is a space within the realm of the dead. Hence why she asked if we died.
Oh, that Mizarine.
Oh, that misery. You knew of another one?
Right?
I mean, it's like my mind was in a different direction. I think we better retrieve Gron as quick as we can.
Okay.
And then let's walk out of the village together.
Okay. Uh, we reconnoiter to the river bank, and Roak is the first to ask, "So, what are these people like? I don't,
Go ahead, Saz.
I don't see. I can see them, but I have a lot of brightly colored dressed people over there."
They seem to be very friendly and so far welcoming, and we actually have a place to stay within the village.
Oh, excellent.
Grand, I asked about ogres, and they don't seem too surprised about it. They're not common, but it's not going to raise any alarm.
Okay, and where would I be staying?
We'll figure that out once we get back to the village.
Fair enough.
So, once again, we reconnoiter to the village as a full party. Uh,
Yes.
And, and what time is it by the time we get back?
Mid-morning. It didn't take all that long.
Oh, okay. So we're like not near nightfall or anything.
Oh, hell no.
No, no, no.
You're gonna have, unless you find something that you wish to do for the rest of this day, uh you've got downtime. But once the four of you return to the village, uh the these nomadic folk in their caravans, uh caravan wagons, are kind of going about their day. Yeah, Grand, as I've described them. I mean, the mortal women are quite beautiful. Uh, the men are quite roguish looking. Um, the people that are the Athranians are seem to be like the country dwelling people, cousins to Vaesen, if you will. Uh, and it looks like a uh kind of a typical Athranian country village. Uh, they Athranians are the only uh culture and or civilization in all of Arklanar that actually have access to ebon smelting, and ebon replaces uh iron in Arklanar's crust, which, I mean, being as this is a Bronze Age setting, you can infer from there that of the people, they're probably one of the more powerful nations. But ebon is scarce, so it's extremely expensive once you get your hands on it.
So, should we go to our new home and get settled in?
Yeah, let's check it out.
Uh, you guys are given a one room dirt floor shack, that if Grand actually kind of hunches his shoulders and bends over, he can actually get inside. Uh, it's pretty cozy in there. He'll take up a third of the building, but he you can actually sleep comfortably in here. Um, it's got a would be a fireplace sort of built into the floor. It's a permanent dwelling built up of flagstones. It's got a hole in the roof. Please don't rain. But besides that, that'll actually not be on Grand's side of the shack, if you will. This it's actually a rather nice looking hovel. Uh, it looks possibly like last season a tree had fallen on it, and that was the only like big structure damage that they have.
All right. Well, the grandma did say that everyone worked.
What did you
So,
mean by the questions with the anklets?
well, we're wearing them, aren't we?
Right, but do you know if that means anything, or do we see anyone else with him on?
That's why I was looking at her ankles.
You don't see her ankles.
Hmm.
She's wearing
I
a
thought
long
you were just
skirt.
being weird.
Well, I mean,
He likes older women.
I am a tree folk in the middle of the land of the dead. So, I mean, I probably am.
There's no kink shaming here in the land of the dead.
All right, right, right.
Unless that's what killed you in the first place.
Yeah, right. I mean,
Well, and even then,
Roak is sitting on a stool, really the only piece of furniture in uh, the hovel, and says, "Well, if we were supposed to have died, I know I didn't die of syphilis. Saz, did you die of syphilis? I
I
know
don't
that
think so.
I know Fae a plenty that partake of the prostitutes, and the syphilis is a plague among sailors.
Okay. I haven't seen any ogre women around lately, so not likely.
Mm.
we got into the fight at the tavern.
Yeah, I
Does anyone
say
remember?
And
it
Mason's too old for syphilis, so I know we know he didn't die.
okay, I can't remember.
Not
We were talking
Fuck you, kid.
vampires. We were talking vampires earlier. I can't remember. Did we check for puncture wounds?
We did
Yes.
on the hillside, yes. Uh,
And everyone has them.
actually, Grand doesn't have puncture wounds because we found out that there's no throat big enough to maw big enough to engulf his throat. So his throat was actually laid open with a knife.
Yes. Yes.
God damn, that was
So,
the end of the
okay,
first
so
session. I apologize.
that also doesn't explain the syphilis possibility here.
He Roak is being an asshole.
Yeah.
Well, maybe Dr.
Uh,
Vason died of old age. Maybe he's the dead one.
I maybe
uh,
would suggest us not advertising the puncture wounds in our neck to these people just in case.
well, at least for me, I can pull my play mine off as a combat wound.
Roak pulls his scarf tighter around his neck to cover up his neck.
Vason pulls up his robes and makes sure that they're nice and tight.
He makes a side comment. It's a little chilly with that hole in the roof. And side eyes everyone, trying to like, all right, yeah, that's why we're
Yeah.
popping our
Yeah.
collars. Yeah, right. Mm.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Are you comfortable, Grand? Says Roak from the other side of the room.
Yes, thank you for asking.
Speaking of that, we might have to ask about food, um, or find out what the expectation is here. If they need help with anything.
Well, they were cooking early when we were talking to them. So, yeah, let's go find that out.
Well, and then do they have enough?
Well, that's why we have to go find out, Grand.
Right.
I'll stay here.
I'll keep Grand company. And
I, I,
Roak,
I, I don't imagine most places have an entryway big enough for me.
mm, uh, Roak is finishing up the bowstring that he's currently working on. So hopefully by nightfall we'll have a bow that he um that we have access to.
Then we
uh,
just need to worry about ammo.
mm,
So, yeah, uh, Saz will go back out and I actually look back at Basin. Are we gonna go talk to her again, or see if we can't sniff it out ourselves?
It's up to you. If you feel like exploring, we can see if we can find somebody in charge.
Well, we already know who's in charge.
Well, somebody assigning jobs or resources.
If they've got a forge, I can do some work
Yeah, we'll find out. Yeah, I
after I
guess
make
we'll.
a after I remake a hammer.
Right. Yeah. So if it's only like mid-morning, yeah, we can do a once over of the town.
Yeah, let's do a walkabout.
See how big it is. See what's all around.
Um, yeah, like I said before, it's about 200 people. The palisade, or the fence. I keep calling it a palisade. To these people, it is their wall that keeps out things that they don't want in the village. Uh,
Mm.
but it's seen some better days, and those are long past us. Uh, there are eight caravan wagons that are about four of them are inside the village, and four of them are out uh on like the dirt what country road that passes for like a trade highway. Uh, they've got local artisans. There is what passes for these country folk a forge. Grand is not going to fit in there. 100% not going to fit.
No, but I can work with him to make one big enough for me so I can help
Oh,
out.
fair. All right, all right, all right. They'd have to take down a section of the roof for you to
Um,
stand there.
no, I'd just be outside the walls during the day.
Oh, fair, fair enough. Uh,
Ask about that hinge thing that we saw.
right. Okay. All right.
Because if
So,
we can use those stones to repair these walls, I think we should do that.
okay, okay. Uh, so they have a granary here, which is essentially like it looked like it was possibly a stone, like a tower. Uh, Saz, you're probably familiar with the interesting phenomenon that sorcerers have this fixation about building towers out in the middle of nowhere, and like the top third of this tower had possibly crumbled away, and the people uh may or may not have captured the tower and then turned it into a granary. So
Hmm.
it's a big stone circular building with a big wooden door on the front that's got like a big lock on the front, and like so it has the trappings of some crotchety old sorcerer's lair of study, but these nice rural people have turned it into a grain silo.
Hmm.
We hope that sorcerer is dead, and he just doesn't come back and go, "Why is there all this food in my house?"
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So that's there's that for you. That is kind of built into the wall, or the wall kind of connects to it on both sides. So, um, as the village itself is kind of itself on a hillside, and so the road kind of uh, goes up to where the well is, and where the covered carts are, and some of the hovels there. Like the babushka's home is kind of on the lower part of this hillside, and then you pass through it, and the road goes off into like the northwest on the directional compass.
Okay. So we have a forge, we have a granary, we have 8 covered wagons.
Or
Still no
inside or
weapons.
outside. No, they really don't have a military here. They look like common folk. You could probably assume that if there was a battle or if they were attacked, the men would just take up their tools and be rabble.
Anything's a weapon if you use it properly.
Saz, do we want to talk to this caravan at all?
She did mention there were traveling merchants that like to come through, so we could do that.
Okay.
Excuse me, darn my head off today.
I
Um,
resemble that remark.
when we
Hmm.
were when we were walking through, as well as talking to the babushka, um, did we see one of the nomads that might have been more uh extravagant to show he was probably the ringleader?
Well, shit, they're all extravagant. Uh,
Yeah,
but
but there's
but
always one that's more intricate. Come on.
who's the most opulent of the opulent?
Yeah,
Uh,
right, right. Who's being flamboyant about it? Let's put it that way.
I this smoke show of a gal that's wearing scarlet and mauve and has her hair piled high on her head. Dear sweet God, she's like a 12 out of a 10. Um, but yeah, no, she kind of has this air of authority about her and the language that she's speaking to her kinsman there. She snaps her fingers and they fucking hop to it. So no, you don't talk to her. She's maybe in earthly human years on the earthly calendar. She's probably like 10 years younger than Vason.
Nice.
She's aged
Right?
really well.
So so
Brown chicken,
in
brown cow.
cycles, she's maybe like 150 cycles younger than you. Still hot, but still. It's not a girl. This is a woman.
You've
And what
now
about
hit
the
cougar territory.
anklets? Are we seeing them on people or
I'm trying to avoid saying this, but only on the white people.
Only on the pale people.
Thank you.
The non-nomads.
Yeah,
Only on the albinos.
no. Theoden was the albino. She was very white. Uh, no.
Yeah, we need to find her.
On the villagers, not the nomads. And the nomad girls like to show off their ankles. Yep.
nice?
Uh-huh.
Bason's
I don't
like,
know.
if I was 30 years younger, I tell you what.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Look at all those ankles.
I I ain't as good as I once was. I was good
Woo.
once as I ever was. So yeah, you want to go talk to leader over there?
Let's.
All right.
I'm gonna put her name in the chat for you. Now, if I capitalize her name, you'll pronounce it wrong. It's spelled Iulia. Iulia. But no, she is standing there. Um she's got an ebon dagger. Kind of this viciously curved ebon dagger uh thrust into her sash. She's got hoop earrings, she's got bangles on her wrists. Uh she's got what like to us of Earth would consider like a piratical sash, a gay colored piratical sash with a coin skirt. uh, about her uh, quite shapely hips. She's got like a very athletic runner's body. Uh, Raven black hair, kind of that olive red tinted skin. Uh, dark brown eyes, like coffee brown eyes, gorgeous. And she's got her nose pierced, and there is a chain that goes from her nose ring to her ear that kind of jingles and tinkles pleasantly as she looks around. But no, she 12 out of 10. Holy crap. Uh,
Brown
but
chicken, brown cow.
no, brown woman, you people, Caucasian folk. But
No,
uh,
no, no, just making fun of the porn sound.
I'm
Brown chicken,
I
brown.
I'm aware. I'm teasing you, sir. Hey, mute your mic. You're not there, sir.
Okay.
Okay. Uh, wait, Eric, how did you mute your? What did you mute?
My mic.
Is that above the computer?
Yeah, my mic is above the computer.
Oh shit. Okay. Okay.
He's doing it on the
We
mic itself, not on Zoom.
Yeah.
Oh, we mute through. I okay. I apologize. Pause the fucking session here. We mute through Zoom, so we know, and you don't have to like keep like reaching up and shit. Oh, there was the fucking confusion. I'm sorry. Fuck. Excuse me. Yeah, mute quick, and I'll do this scene. We'll get back to you. I apologize, man. God damn it. All right, cool. I'm fucking with it now. Jesus Christ, it's been a rough week. Um. Vase and go.
I look at Saz and shrug my shoulders and just approach her.
She gives the two of you gentlemen a winning smile.
I bow low.
Good morning, gentlemen. And again, strangely enough, she speaks the trade language, but her accent is even weirder than the babushkas. She's got like this breathy timbre to her that makes your for Vasen's ears, it's hearing his language being spoken with that accent makes it even way better.
Gotcha.
You're like, yes, keep talking to me, sweetheart. God damn it.
I'm not going to answer, but keep talking.
Good morning, milady. I'm afraid I come to you at a disadvantage. My friends and I have shown up on the outskirts of this village, and we don't know where we are.
Well, this village is this I believe this is Lanoon. But this place, this is Mizarine.
This this place. What do you mean, Mizarine? We recognize the name, but the Mizarine.
The realm of the underworld.
So we're in a protected area of the underworld?
Uh, how do you mean protected? What is she's like, what is this
I,
word protected? What do you mean?
we're, I'm we're trying to understand this. We're not dead, so we don't understand how we're here and what this means.
Oh, do you wear the anklets? Because
I sure my
the dead do not wear the anklets. Except
I
for us, we're not of Mizarine.
look down at my anklet.
You are not dead.
what does this mean to us?
You, the vampires brought you here
Not
for
that we
what?
remember, but
For whatever reason.
our last memories of being in a tavern fight.
Yes,
Bef-
the vampires brought you here.
Do we need to stay or should we be leaving?
Well, I suppose that is up to you. You are not dead, but you travel the roads of the underworld, and here you are in Mizarine, and it is quite difficult for the living of your world to return from the dead. You would have to take that up with the vampires. She kind of has it's kind of that should be obvious. Kind
No
of
one
look.
has spoken to us since we've arrived here. We're not sure what we're supposed to be doing. If we should stay or if it's our best interest to head out of here.
That's up to you. Unless unless you wish to find a new life here in the underworld and pass on as naturally as you can. My people can come and go as we choose. We are not of Mizarine.
Will they come for us?
More than likely not.
So we were just brought here for what reason?
I do not know. The vampires do whatever they want.
If I had to wager a guess, probably so we couldn't open our mouths. What better
Are
way to
you look
keep us? What better way to keep a secret than to put the people who know about it somewhere they can't escape from?
Are you looking for help with your caravan?
Not really. We
I
uh, my caravan and I are quite well attended, but I we would take caravan guards if you wanted to move from one village to the next.
I have an ogre.
Is he a slave?
No, he's a companion.
Oh, well, if your ogre wants to come with, then he's welcome, of course.
Uh, it's a package deal.
She raises an eyebrow, a very beautiful eyebrow, mind you.
If we're if we were to be offering the services of the ogre, it would be for all four of us.
Are all four of you strong with arms?
Yes. And
She looks you up and down shamelessly.
He has his uses. Don't worry about it.
I can offer my services as a healer.
Ah, well, if that's the case, all right, you may come with
When are you leaving?
tomorrow afternoon.
Let me talk to my companions and make sure this is amicable with them, and we'll be back.
She nods.
All right. Size.
Okay.
All right. We'll head back to the hut. Team huddle.
Yay.
Grand, this is what we found out. We are,
I'm
for
sorry.
all practical purposes, in in the land of the dead. So,
So, are we dead then?
no, evidently the anklets that we're wearing say that we're not dead, but vampires brought us here, whatever that means. They do have a forge here. Okay, so we're looking at two possible opportunities right now before we get too attached to this place. They do have a forge here, but you wouldn't fit in it without some major altercations.
Alterations.
Now we could do
Yeah,
altercations too if we really needed
we
to.
could do. Yeah, there would be some altercations to the altercation, all altercations.
That too.
Um,
Uh,
Otherwise, there's a caravan leaving tomorrow that would bring us on as guards and healers if we wanted to get out of this place.
But where would that take us?
Don't know yet.
That's a good question. Right now, the answer is away from here. So if vampires brought us here, I don't know if we want to stay here and wait for them to tell us why, or if we want to vacate before they come looking for us. I don't know. I'm just looking at possibilities.
Okay. Are we looking at trying to get back or are we looking at staying?
At this point, I would say we still need to understand the situation. I mean, if you look at your neck, you look like you were killed.
I look
We
like
all,
I took so I took a blade hit to the throat.
But she said the dead don't wear anklets, so we're not dead.
but he's wearing essentially an ogre-sized anklet that matches y'all threes.
so we're not dead, but somebody didn't necessarily want us alive.
We're not dead, but somebody didn't want us where we last were.
And we have no idea what these anklets mean.
I'm not going to say they wanted us dead or alive. They didn't want us there.
Correct. I would agree with that.
So Roak speaks up and says, "So we were brought here
Yes.
so we wouldn't talk?"
I
That's
think
what
so.
we're thinking.
That is one possible premise.
Well, if we find Theoden, I'm certain that she can explain that to us.
Maybe.
Uh, assuming she's even here.
And assuming she wants to tell us.
Roak puts on a very worried and a little bit of a lovesick look. Like he's kind of he it's pretty obvious that there's some implications that we've been throwing around the V word, and she was one of the entities that got them in this mess, and he looks like he's trying to process that his what
The
he
love of his
thought.
eyes just fucked him.
Yeah, right. Like he like his potential love interest that he really had a thing for. uh might have actually have been one of those V words that he refuses to believe at this point, but he's might have to start entertaining those thoughts.
If you don't like the V word, can we just say leech? They basically do the same thing.
Well, he's not saying any of this. This is like all like expressive. He's very quiet right now.
Well, here's the big thing. If we're trying to find her, or we're trying to figure out why we're here, I don't think either one of those is going to happen while we're in this village. So I, for one, vote for becoming guards and going somewhere else.
Maybe we could trade something that we have right now for some arrows because I will be done with this bow by dinner time.
Okay, while the bow has greater range, there is always ammunition to be found for a sling.
I'm aware, but I have 7 silver and 28 coppers to my name right now, and I'm certain these people
The
have arrows.
oh,
If
well,
if
okay. Does our currency work here?
That's the next question we need to ask. Is
well,
is
once we decide what we're doing, we're gonna need to find food, whether we're working for it or we're buying it, before we buy arrows.
And if I'm going to be a guard, I would rather have an axe instead of this hammer.
I don't know if they'll have ogre-sized weapons or tools for you, Grand.
And we
Okay.
haven't seen arrows yet either.
They've gotta
Oh,
have hunters here.
This village itself, I don't think really has much in the way of weaponry. All the more reason to maybe talk to the lady of the caravan again.
Roak just sits down on the stool, not his stool, but he just looks at Vason with a helpless like like a young man's helpless, please help me look. You're the elder of the of his culture here. He doesn't know what to do. That it's the telepathic like younger man to an older man. Tell me what to do.
Okay,
Obi-Wan.
so
He doesn't say anything, but that's what his eyes tell you.
we don't have to decide about the caravan until tomorrow morning. What if the four of us go out and explore together and look for arrows and or food and to see what we can negotiate?
okay. As
And and
I'm
weapons.
assuming the caravan option, they're going to feed us as part of our pay. Or had we asked those questions?
We have not. And when was the last time you ate?
And that's probably been a day.
Uh-huh.
Perhaps we should take some time and explore the village. See what there is to see.
Okay.
For me.
Uh,
Because we didn't see anything that passed by for an inn or a tavern or a like community hall to eat, did we?
they have a larger kind of an open. It would essentially be their town square or town hall, but it's essentially a pavilion with a like not a pavilion uh
Gazebo?
thank you. God damn it. I was about to say. The thing that it's not X, it's a gazebo. Thank you. It doesn't fucking hurt you.
Like
Thank you.
like a
The
pergola.
thank you. The yeah, it's a gazebo. They do have a fire going underneath this pergola. There are people gathering for food. Kind of like a community meal. It looks like somebody had killed a deer or two, probably last night, and they're cooking it this morning. Uh, and so no, to answer your question, yeah, they do, Mike. But it's about as fucking podunk as it's gonna get.
Food
All
is
right.
food, regardless of how it's served.
I'm gonna say podunk's better than nothing. So,
Yep.
all right. Let's see what we gotta do for a meal around this place. As his stomach growls on cue.
Hmm.
I could look scary. That might work.
Please don't do that, Grond. These people are
We'll
nice
call
as they are.
we'll call it option D.
Thank you. Watch for cues.
Yeah. Uh, so
First pitchfork that gets pointed at me, I'm gonna smash. But just letting you know.
one of these red nomads sees Grond coming, and his eyes go a little wide, and he says, uh, "Yulia, Yulia, I don't. Should we kill a pig?" And she just kind of like looks up at Grond, looks at like the opulence of his stomach, and you see like her do like the geometry in her head like really fucking quickly, and she goes, maybe two pigs.
Aurora
And
can help kill pigs. He knows how to use a bow.
who said, what are you doing?
Because I'm assuming we're hearing this conversation.
Yeah, it's just kind of
If
like a
they're
side thing.
if they're
Yeah.
captive pigs, I could work a stun line, and I hold up my hammer.
No, no, we can cut a throat, we'll be fine. We're deft with knives. It'll take a bit.
Sa
uh
Saz is also assuming they're talking about wild boar or wild pig. So he was saying Roar can help hunt one down. He knows how to use a bow.
uh I can use a bow. But Yulia says, "No, we have pigs. We don't need to go hunting."
Domesticated pigs.
Yes,
Okay.
Oh, well, hell.
they'll they'll one of the younger guys gets himself a cleaver and then goes to town. He slaughters a pig. The word gets passed around the caravan that they're slaughtering a pig, and um, to feed the ogre. Uh, it's gonna take a couple hours, but you'll get food.
I've been through lean seasons. I can wait a couple of hours.
Silly,
That's it.
Now,
I mean,
now
a
you make
couple
it
of hours.
you make me go a couple of weeks, and we're gonna have some problems. But
you'll see what a hangry ogre looks like. Yeah, yeah,
Trust me, you don't want to see what a hangry ogre looks like.
you're right. They actually start. Then the stories become true. They do start to eat people. Uh, um.
They start with the pretty ones too.
that's
Whoa, whoa,
that's
whoa, whoa,
Hey,
whoa.
easy, easy, easy.
no, we don't grind your bones to make our bread,
Those are giants.
but squeezing the eyeballs to make the jelly is really good on toast.
No. So no, the excitement settles down and y'all start actually fucking eating. But uh Roak will go off and attempt to haggle himself some fucking arrows. Uh he will get himself uh 48 arrows and heal there and get himself a quiver too. So
Ooh.
he's looking
Oh, now he's
fancy.
just getting too fancy for us.
And once he comes back and rejoins uh the three of you, he goes, "My bow should be done by this evening, so we'll have something." He's mostly saying it to Vason because, well, you kind of get the impression that he's taking most of his cues from the old guy in the group. Like, you're old enough to be his grandpa, so he's deferring to you.
As he should.
Damn right,
In,
kid.
in most situations, yes. When it comes to combat, talk to Sazanai.
I make sure I appreciate him and pat him on the head, saying, "You're doing a good job with the bow. You keep that up."
That a boy.
I see that and I do the same thing to him.
Ka-dunk, ka-dunk.
Oh, oh, oh.
Not hard, but you know.
Now, effectively, like, Roak is about my age. He's like fucking 30. But still, uh, um, well, he just takes it on the chin and just keeps going with it. What do your characters do for the rest of the evening here?
Okay, is this just the caravan people or the whole village?
The whole village.
I'm gonna try to track down the blacksmith guy.
There's a couple of those. There's this old crotchety guy who seems like he's been a metal worker for like his entirety of his life. Uh, but he he's willing to talk shop with you. He doesn't know of any ogre smiths though.
Well, he's just met one.
Oh, you think I know one then. Oh, was there anything that
And
you wanted to pursue with that conversation, Eric? Or
what is his primary? I mean, as far as metal work goes, what type of metals is he primarily using? It's still copper, like
uh, he when he gets tin, he likes to work in bronze. Uh, Bronze is what well, copper is what he started with, and for the majority of his life, when he had the opportunity to uh, smelt bronze, he would make bronze and practice with bronze as often as he could. So you could say his specialty is copper, but he prefers to work in bronze.
well, who doesn't?
Yeah, and that's he completely he agrees as well. He's like, ah.
I mean, copper's a little too soft to be effective.
But tin is hard to come by in these hills.
Tin is hard to come by, period.
So no, you guys will kind of like talk shop and probably bitch together, commiserate together.
And it's like, and I'm like, I realize your setup is too small for me to use.
You would be welcome to it if you were not so big. If you were a boy, maybe you would fit, but obviously you're not a child anymore.
No, and my forge is not here.
I could not imagine how large your forge is.
Eh, It was mostly outdoors. I mean,
But
I had a,
do you want anything? Do you want to take anything with you? I don't know how you
honestly,
use it.
I'd like to replace this rock with a nice axe head if I could.
That's a lot of metal.
I realize that.
There's not if we take all of the bronze in this village, we could make one
I'm
axe head.
fine with I'm fine with just copper. That's what I had before coming here. And unfortunately, it's still hanging over the forge.
That does not do us any damn good.
No. Also, I somehow, because I had my hammer before I came here, and now I don't. My smithing hammer is gone.
I tell
I
you
had
what,
to I had to fashion this together. And
this is
I hold
I
up my hammer.
which is a stone hammer. I tell you what, well, we can make you a copper hammerhead, and you don't have any money on you. He looks at the four of you.
You are correct, because it was all probably put to make the giant axe I had.
We'll make you an axe head, but you'll pay for it later when you have the money.
You have my word as a fellow smith.
All
I
right.
have I have never gone back on a deal.
He holds his hand up.
I give him a finger.
Yep. That is the equivalent handshake.
Just not
It's
this
like,
finger.
Yeah. No, he's only got three fingers and a thumb on both hands. So his literal middle finger is his. Yeah, no, it
index?
would may I really wrote something along these lines. So yeah,
No, like my old high school or junior high shop teacher.
well, there you go. Uh, so yeah, no, he takes it. He downs the rest of his ale and he fucking leaves.
If you need help while I'm here, please allow me.
I will call for you when I need help. Kind of swaggers off, maybe a little inebriated, but that only probably increases your confidence in his skill.
Is he working the forge when drunk? No,
Yeah,
I'm fine with it.
yeah. Well, no, he like abruptly terminated the conversation after the deal was made to probably start right away because he's going to need all of that time.
It's a lot of metal.
A lot of fucking metal. But yeah, no, he uh the blacksmith will leave the scene and begin working. Uh I'm assuming Grond would probably be considered a very lawful character.
Mm-hmm.
So he pays his bills and does not go back on his deals,
Does not go back on his deals and takes it very personally when people go back on theirs.
as the Ukrainian way would be. Yep. Uh, um,
There were blood spatters on my forge hammer.
of course. Uh, now, Saz and Vason, what are y'all doing?
For Vason, after we've been fed with the feast, um, he's probably going to go back to the hut because it's dark, and that's what we do is we eat and go to sleep.
Fair. Uh, Roak will go bed down and um well, you know what? Actually, as the humans of the party attempt to go bed down, um, I'm gonna say uh the two of you get catcalled by these nomad women.
I know I
You know? uh no, so no, they don't. Their obscenities that they throw at you are more flattering than repulsive. But these women are brazen, Vason. Holy smokes. Uh, they are, uh-huh.
Hmm. I look at the boy. What?
He looks, he sees these girls catcalling y'all, and then he just looks over at you and he's like, "You're up, Granddad." They're not
I will.
talking to me.
I will see you later.
Brown chicken, brown cow.
You know, uh, he says, as until I am told otherwise, my heart belongs to
Yeah,
Theoden.
yeah. Bye.
He fucking leaves. Rock just goes to bed. So yeah, no, Vason is no, he is down to it.
Stop talking now. Bye.
So we don't see Vason for the rest of the session, is what I'm gonna say. Uh he finds himself in a caravan wagon in one of them. Uh Saz. What is Saz up to?
uh, what is Saz up to?
Yeah, right.
Um, after eating, and it's already dark, so he didn't really, he's not really gonna go out and forage or anything.
That forge lights up most of the village with how hot he's got it.
Right. Um, he's actually gonna go around the caravan and see if any of them carry uh a couple of swords he can bargain or buy.
A
Okay.
couple of the younger guys could uh uh yeah, he's willing to sell you a saber. It's a really weirdly patterned one, but it's a sword and it's got a single edge. And this got this fucking weird thing around the hilt. He calls it a basket. Why does a sword need a basket? Well, you will never know.
I don't know of many babies that would fit in a basket that small.
Right.
Uh,
Okay.
and he says, it's not the greatest quality bronze, but it will be serviceable and it'll cut flesh. How much do you have on you? His accent is so fucking weird. It's
Yeah,
cool,
right,
but it's
right.
weird.
He's only got like a handful of, I think he's only got a couple silver on him.
How much in total? Roll a couple dice. No modifiers, just straight die.
Off of 2d8, I got a 12. If you want to
D
go off of 1d8, I got a 7.
uh, so we'll say you've got 7 copper, 4 silver on you then. Pocket change.
Yeah.
He
So if
says,
that's not enough, we might be traveling with you, and I can make it up as we go.
he just says, well, give me 3 silver and it's yours.
All right. We'll give
Do
him
you
three
have
silver.
do you have a stone to sharpen it with?
I did well because the only thing taken from us was our weapons when we got transported, right?
For the most part.
Okay, so yeah, he would have had a whetstone before.
Then you're welcome. You have a chore now.
A whetstone without a blade.
Mm, but uh with that, uh we will essentially pass the evening relatively uneventfully from everyone else's standpoint. Vason is busy and wakes up. in one of those caravan wagons underneath like four people.
Sticky.
A what?
Sticky. He's sticky.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Uh,
No, no, sticky is that thing that I killed the other day.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, no. The night passes. Well, you guys feel a little bit more. You feel a little bit taller with the equipment that you've received, and uh, the next morning, Grand gets his axe head, which is frankly quite broad, and quite and he's just finishing up hammering it and polishing it, so it's got kind of a nice hammered finish to it. Uh, and he hands it over to you at breakfast that next day, and he says, "I don't know how to mount something like this, so this part of the deal is on you."
Oh, no problem. Uh, I'm assuming he's got an eye in it, so I can put a shaft in it.
Yeah, he just kind of looked at your hands and measured, like eyeballed it, so it's not going to be exact. So you're going to have to finagle with it to get it to sit proper.
No, well, no. Untie the rock.
And say, look, Eric, I know, but you don't have to give the Ge National Geographic
Right.
explanation of it. I
I'm
know.
just gonna. I've got a big stick. I'm just gonna make it fit the eye.
Copy. Uh, so that next morning, as you guys are rousing yourselves from from sleep, that village, uh, a pheasant crows, and that begins the day. Um, on the edge of the village, uh, maybe a half hour before the sun rises, uh, you four will notice that the village babushka goes to one of the gates. We're gonna say the front gate that kind of goes off to the northwest there, and she speaks to a figure just on the other side of the torchlight.
Can we hear what's being said?
Not currently,
Well, I'm too, a little too obvious to be going and listening.
right?
I don't have any stealth at all. So
We need saws or
Roak isn't going. Yes, Roak has grades in stealth, but he does not know what to look for.
All right, Saz will go because now he's curious.
Of course. Uh, so
Yes.
how do you approach this conversation? Just fucking go, or do you being stealthy about it? I mean, you guys seem to have this want to be stealthy, but
Um. Well, especially because she was all gung ho about don't go out at night, and then she's going out at night, and she went on the other side of the gate. Yeah, he's going to be stuffed because something isn't quite matching up.
right.
She's been cryptic and more babushka than most babushkas are, and he doesn't like it.
No, you're like, are you being babushkaist? Come on, man. Uh, they mostly come out at night, mostly, right?
Yeah,
Thanks, Eric. Uh, so, uh, now, Saz, make me a stealth test.
that's a 25 because it like to explode on me that time.
Fuck yeah. Terry, are you still with us?
yes.
Okay, cool. Your camera's off. I was curious if you dropped or not. Um, I didn't want to continue without you, but anyway, um, No, the babushka entertains an interview with a cloaked figure uh, with a couple of her confederates from the village. Like she's got uh, two bodyguards that are men from the village that flank her, and you are uh, privy to the following conversation. She hands over uh, basically a kind of a big sack of monies, essentially. Uh, and this individual takes his hood off, and horror of horrors, he's the guy who kicked you in the face. Uh, and he takes the monies and drops it into a satchel. And this individual says, "How does your village fare?" Like he asks her like how she's doing, how her people are, and she responds, "We're doing well. We have some newcomers." And she kind of gives him a pointed thank you for that type of expression. And the individual smiles. You see his fangs, and he says, "They would have talked. So three more mouths to feed and an ogre." And there's just like they just fucking look at each other. Uh, I will take whatever is left from the neighboring villages, and your people will be safe. They conclude their business. She nods, and she re-enters the village, and that vampire watches her return to her abode.
Saz will give it a couple more minutes after that. Uh, One, he kind of wants to see what the vampire is going to do, but two, he's trying to make sure he wasn't caught.
No, he just he stays there long enough for her to safely get back home. He lingers there for a few moments in the road, and I mean, unless someone stops him, he leaves.
I'm not tangling with that right now. I am grossly under prepared for that.
Yep.
So yeah, I'll go back to the shack after that.
Roak gives you an expectant look. Who was that?
That was the old lady of the town going to meet a vampire.
He blinks.
No, I did
Meet a
not stutter.
vampire.
I did not stutter either.
Meet to
Yes,
have Congress with.
yes. Gave him a sack of money, basically for protection.
Yeah, this place is a racket.
A
And then,
literal vampire tax collector.
yes.
No, extortionist.
Uh,
Well, either way,
you
she
mean
paid
like the
money.
clerics of Druza back home that collect taxes from the citizens of the city?
Yep.
It's a protection racket.
Well, no, it's a tithe to the god Druza. The priests have to feed themselves somehow.
Okay, a vampire's taking protection money from a non-vampire. That sounds like protection money to me.
Either way,
Well, gentlemen, one moment. It's does not a serf owe his feudal lord some form of payment if it is not in the form of the
Food?
produce of their yes of their farms?
Well, okay. In this
Maybe
case,
in
being a
this
vampire, the produce of their farms would be their blood.
Well, perhaps, and this is probably when Vason swaggers in like he's a century younger. And uh well, but perhaps in this strange place, the vampires are these people's feudal lords, and this is their taxes.
We also got brought up
What the hell did we get brought up for?
because the old lady thanked him for the new arrivals.
Thanked him legitimately or sarcastically?
It sounded legitimate. And he even said 3 extra mouths to feed and an ogre. They were going to talk.
That confirms the suspicion that we had this whole time.
And it's the same one that kicked me in the face. I'm
Always.
going to kill him.
Oh. Well, then
This
maybe
might
he know.
be a better reason for us to get out of here.
Then maybe he knows where Theoden went. He
God,
says,
you
right,
are hung up.
quite,
Saz, okay. I'm I am actually trying to remember the fight. Like I know,
That was almost a month ago.
well, yeah. Well, okay. Because I remember Theoden knocked out Roark,
Yep,
became the bats, disappeared into the building.
yep,
I think I'm the only one that saw the conversation between Theoden and the one that kicked me in the face, though.
yep.
Yeah, you're the one who saw the. You're the
You're the
only
only
one who
one who
saw
saw
the
his
one.
face, yes.
Yeah,
Because Vason was outside, and I don't think Gron had made it inside yet.
No, he didn't.
I never made it inside. Period.
I think he got to the doorway and then was incapacitated himself.
Yeah, so I'm basically the only one that knows that this one
Kicked you
probably
in the
knows where
face.
Theoden is. Considering he said, why couldn't you just convert him and leave? Why you gotta make it all difficult? But yeah, anyway, moving on. Fucking vampires.
You won't hear a complaint about you bitching about them from me. Where did I have that?
So, what's your plan, gentlemen?
We have a concept of a plan.
Oh,
I had to. I'm sorry.
I. Thanks, Eric.
And canceled.
I
Please don't cancel my YouTube channel. It's small enough as it is. Uh. Okay. Okay.
No, in all reality, Saz is probably going to attempt to get some form of sleep, because he's all too ready to go join the caravan in the morning.
will be what
It is the morning. You
I
guys just woke up.
Oh, okay. I thought I went back and they were still up when I talked to
No,
them.
no, 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 no. That it
and scene.
yeah. They no.
Okay,
Went to go get laid, and that's when we all went to bed. And
gotcha.
then y'all woke up, and this is what happened. The tax collector came and got the taxes from the village. The village called Lenoon.
So yeah, in that case, he will get up, grab his little bit of stuff, and go join the caravan
Yep.
because he is not sticking around here.
I would say we eat whatever breakfast is left over from the two,
pigs slaughter,
All right.
and yeah, and we go join the caravan.
So, for the sake of the story, so I can session prep for the 27th properly, we are committing to leaving Lanoon.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Uh, that is 2 votes against one, or three. It's a unanimous.
Oh, I'm agreeing with it.
Okay, it's unanimous.
Yeah.
Uh, for the
Uh,
foreseeable future, Roak is basically going to vote in uh Vason's direction for most of this.
I mean, I got to pay back the blacksmith for this beautiful axe head.
Okay. So on your character sheet, make sure you have what is effectively now a copper
Long
long
axe,
axe.
which I still have the stats for it. I never
You do?
take it.
Okay, okay, cool. I wanted to make sure. Fantastic.
Yeah, I never took it off my character sheet because, well, okay, I fully expected to be able to get back to my shop and get it
Yep, right,
until
right. The narrative changed. So yeah, no, -1 to attack, for copper. Anyway, with that, we will bring the session to a close and take a break for the holiday. Grand, would you start us off for character soliloquies? We'll go to Saz and then we'll go to Vason. Take it away, my friend.
hey, I finally have an axe ish. It's not an axe yet. I need to put it together. Anybody got a blade I can use to shape this stick I've got?
Is that his soliloquy? It's
Yeah.
like,
He's happy he's got his weapon back.
nice. Uh, so closing scenes there, at least from Grant's perspective, is one of the locals uh with a bronze pole knife that has seen better days. Uh, will reshape that, and you'll have a weapon by next session that is functional. Uh, and then uh we go to Vason. Wow, how was his evening? That was quite nice.
Yes,
How
the
many
the
ladies were there? 4 of them?
at least four, or
Uh-huh.
4 to 6.
It
Um,
was a kaleidoscope of limbs.
Vason is really interested in the whole um being in a village of the dead. So he's actually kind of interested in keeping an eye out for foliage and opportunities to learn. um, yeah, so he's going to be collecting samples and try to do what he can to record this experience.
All right. Uh, Roak will continue basically fashioning himself's tools for the road that he can be as useful as he can. And by next session, his background will change from an artisan to a thief. He will become a first level thief with no contacts. Uh, we go to Saz.
Uh, Saz is, well, he's happy that they have a direction. It's not just let's flounder around in this land of the dead. They're in the fucking land of the dead.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck?
How's that feel, sir?
Yeah, fuck off.
Now, how? Hey, Belmont. What's gonna go on here?
This is like Belmont living in Dracula's castle,
Yep.
and Dracula just now realizes he's there. Especially since he just saw the fucker that kicked him in the face.
Yep.
And me going up and punching the guy in the face would be the equivalent of Belmont punching Dracula and it having no fucking effect, which is
Yep.
why it didn't happen. I almost thought about it though.
Yep.
So, no, uh, Saz is anxious to get the fuck out of this town because they know that they're here and who knows if they're going to come back specifically for them. And he doesn't want to fucking deal with that. He's got one actual weapon. That's not enough. And it's a nice weapon. It's a nice saber. He's never seen the basket hilt before. It's a nice weapon, but it's also a crappy weapon. Let's be honest. It's kind of crappy.
It's very impractical.
Yep.
But he has his sling too.
Yeah, but that's got to be like a pinpoint shot to kill one of these fuckers, and he doesn't want to take chances. Um, so he's ready to get the hell out of here. Hopefully, procure some better weaponry and maybe some better knowledge. And he hopes that the next times he sees that fucker with, you know, that guy again, that he will be more prepared to actually take his revenge because, yeah, fuck all the vampires. They need to die.
All right.
All of them.
All of them. All right. With that, we'll take a break for the holidays, and we'll be back in a couple weeks. Good night, everybody.
27th?
Yes, on the 27th.
Okay.